All right, thank you so much. And of course, we're glad to know you're still there. Right about now, it's time for us to transit to yet another edition, which is the guest segment, where we'll be analyzing alongside with our guest some of the top stories. All right, now the Nigerian government has accused a major opposition leader of treason weeks after the candidate of the ruling party won a hotly contested presidential election. Government spokesperson Lai Mohammed gave the government's position during engagement with journalists in Washington, D.C. in the United States. Lai Mohammed accused the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, of inciting people to violence over the outcome of the presidential election, saying it is treasonable. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, has described that allegation of treason leveled against him and his vice presidential candidate Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed by the federal government as malicious, fictitious, and an apparent campaign of calumny against them. Obi said this in a statement in reaction to the accusation of treason against him and his running mate in the just concluded presidential election by the Minister of Information and Culture, Mr. Lai Mohammed. And of course, joining us to deliberate on this issue, we have a guest who is joining us via a virtual platform in the person of Mr. Andrew Abuh. He is a public affairs analyst joining us all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Abuh, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so before we go into the details that we have for you today, let us get your perspective on the just concluded general elections.
Okay, first off, I just want to congratulate the president-elect, congratulate Nigerians that voted for him. Elections have been won.
Are you there, Mr. Andrew? I think we lost him in just a few seconds.
All right, so we'll be back at you once we're able to establish that connection.
Okay.
All right, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, go right ahead.
Wow.
Hello, can you hear us? All right, I think we're having network issues with you. We'll come back again once we're able to get you on the line. Yeah. All right, so I think he was trying to first congratulate, like you said, the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his success in his elections.
And the
also
emergence of his election.
Yes, and also trying to, I think he was trying to say something about Nigerians.
Yeah, congratulating Nigerians for taking part in the elections, especially with casting the ballot.
That's good.
Yeah, but we are yet to get, okay, he's back. All right, Mr. Andrew, can you go ahead if you can hear us?
Okay, I can hear you people loud and clear.
All right.
Unfortunately, I can't see, there are no visuals for me.
Oh, so sorry about that. We're going to fix that in the course of this discussion. So just go ahead.
Okay, so I want to also congratulate Nigerians who came out overwhelmingly to vote, to cast their vote for their preferred choice of candidate.
Yeah.
And now elections have been won and lost. Okay, at every strata, at the presidential, at the gubernatorials, you know, and all the elections that came with the presidential elections, from the Senate to House of Rep to gubernatorials and state assembly. Now, at every strata, elections have been won and lost. Now, outcomes from these elections determines whether people are going to be okay with it or not. Now, there is a channel.
Are you there, Mr. Andrew? We lost him yet again. Wow. It seems the network is really glitching over.
Yeah, we'll come back again when we are able to establish.
And we all know that election, the people that have issues with the elections, is for them to go to the tribunal, because tribunals resume, you know, almost immediately after elections, because there are time frame for litigation issues regarding elections. Okay, so I think overall, we as Nigerians, knowing and hoping that this country has to be kept as one, we should always, follow the course of, law to execute whatever grievances we have or whatever thing, the displeasure or disagreements we have from an outcome of anything, even going beyond elections.
Now, looking at the fact that, are you there, Mr. Andrew?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, looking at the fact that there are certain reactions from different quarters as regards the conduct of election, saying it wasn't credible, it was nothing close to being credible, it was a sham and all that. It was marred with violence, and of course, results were not uploaded, especially in some areas where the elections were conducted. What would you say about that when it comes to INEC assuring Nigerians that there would be a free and credible election, seeing the fact that a winner has just emerged, which is in the person of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Okay, so I agree with the fact that INEC made promises that they did not keep 100%. But the question again is, are those promises completely against the law?
Before you digress,
Okay.
When you say INEC assured Nigerians that the elections will be free and credible, can you expatiate that? Can you shed more light on that so that those who are viewing us right about now can understand in what sense you mean when you said INEC assured Nigerians of a free and credible election? Let's take it step by step.
Okay, so now assurance of a free and credible elections has always been the goal of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Okay, now the outcomes of elections are determined from what happens in the field. Now this is me trying to be as modest and as possible, and also trying not to sound like a spokesperson for the INEC. Okay, now, are we ever going to, globally or even within, around the world, are we ever going to have an election that is going to be completely free of hitches? The answer is no. Now, there are issues here and there with our elections. They just concluded the election, especially the one that is the national election, which is for the presidential. Now, the point is, can we completely write off the fact that the election was marred with irregularities? In my opinion, if we do that, we will be very, very unfair to the system. I say this because an electoral act was signed into law before the elections, where a lot of electronic transmission or apparatus were going to be used in the elections, going from the beavers, the uploading of results on the Irev and all of that. Now, did the beavers
Are you there, Mr. Andrew? Oh, we lost you again. All right, while we wait for him to establish, what took place, especially when it comes to the use of the beavers, because I was going to listen to how he was going to explain to me what it means to conduct a free and fair election, judging from if the beavers actually worked. Secondly, if results were actually uploaded to the Irev portal. That's the angle where credibility starts. And if those...
Now can you...
All right, go ahead, please. Okay,
good. So now I think the major bone of contention in this conversation of how the election is filled with a lot of irregularity is basically because the presidential election, especially, was not uploaded to the Irev, okay, where every Nigerian can view it.
So if you say, hold on a bit. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's take it one step at a time. You just alleged now that election results were not uploaded to the Irev, right?
No, it's not an allegation. It is what we know and
Good.
what INEC have said.
So does that make it credible?
Now,
does that make the process credible?
Now, coming to the part of credibility, and that is why we will have a smooth conversation if you allow me to land on my points.
All right, go ahead.
Now, there are processes that happened, that was going to happen.
All right, are you Mr. Andrew?
All right, let us know when you're there. All right.
I'm here.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Okay. Now there are processes that goes through the elections. First of all, you get to the polling unit as a voter. You are accredited by the beavers, and you are given a ballot paper to vote. Okay. Now votes will be casted. All polling units vote will be counted in front of all respective party agents and will be signed off after the counting in reflection of what has transpired. So for polling units where there are discrepancies, for maybe stemming from overvoting or from certain irregularities, polling unit agent, political party agents are there to testify, and by testifying, it could be from protest of not appending their signature to the overall outcome of that polling unit. Okay, so there are all these measures in place. Now, to the part of uploading the results, I am not an INEC official. I know of the fact that INEC have given reasons why they had technical challenges uploading the presidential results in real time, on time. Okay, now the point I'm trying to make is, if we have polling units, agents of political parties in respective polling units across the country that were allowed to even go as far as snapping the results of every polling unit, I don't think there should be much of a contention, and it is not completely founded that we are crying foul that results were not uploaded, where every political party have their agents in the respective polling units across the federation to witness to the outcome of every election. Now, this is not me justifying the fact that there were not irregularities in the elections. There were places where violence happened, there were places where overvoting happened, and all of that were put together. There were places where the outcome were completely cancelled. There were places where it was asked that they go back to do a rerun. Okay? So let us put into cognizance the fact that there are other measures that are more even vital and important than uploading of results.
Are you there, Mr. Andrew?
Yes, I am.
When you say there are aspects that are more vital and very important, what are those aspects if result upload has been boycotted?
Now, my question before I start answering your question is, what results were they going to upload? The outcome of the elections at polling unit level, right? Now, don't forget, the process starts from the polling unit to the Ward Collation Center, to the local government collation center, and to the state collation center before the state rec takes the results down to Abuja where it is announced. Now, in all these stages, you have political party agents of all the respective political parties participating in that election. Okay, so these results that were going to be uploaded went through a process before the upload. Okay, so I want us, for every time we have this conversation, we must never jettison the fact that these results that were going to be uploaded went through a process, and the process had people from every political party monitoring that process.
All right.
So
let's go deep a little bit because of our time. I don't want us to dwell too much on this, but your opinion has really been accepted and I really appreciate it. But let's just go deep a little bit. Now the election has been conducted, results have been read, but it's unfortunate that some party members like the Labour Party and the PDP are not satisfied with the results, right? And you are aware that the federal government has already come out to say, well, there's nothing we can do. The result has been read, but whoever that feels cheated somehow or not given a fair treat or fair, playing ground, or is dissatisfied with the outcome of the result should go to the court, right? That the court will be able to give you what you want. Now, these party members, I'm talking about the Labour Party, are now coming out to express their belly situation. I mean, coming out to tell Nigerians and the federal government how they felt about the result. And now it has now been termed, excuse me, by the federal government as their action, being read to being treason. Are you aware of that?
Now you see, let us
just a moment. Just a moment. Are you aware of the fact that federal government has termed their action?
I am 100% aware.
Thank you very much. Just a moment again.
That is why.
Just a moment.
Why I said let's keep things in perspective. The federal government were very categorical about the people that caution was thrown at. Now, the federal government has clearly stated that Mr. Peter Obi and Mr. Datti have made unfounded statements that is capable of throwing the country into chaos. And you and I know that is true.
Excuse me, what statement is that? What statement exactly for the sake of our viewers?
Now the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Datti Ahmed, clearly on a TV station said that on the day of the May 29, if Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sworn in as the president of this country, that democracy is going to collapse. It is on record. This is not my statement.
All right.
This is the statement of Datti Ahmed.
Let me pause you again.
Okay.
On what premise did he make that statement? So that Nigerians will be well informed regarding what you're saying. On what premise? Was he just saying that the government shouldn't or Nigeria shouldn't accept that? Or he's saying that based on this fact, and if the government goes ahead to still do this and that, then it means that the democracy you're talking about, is no longer being practiced. So on what premise do you think he was saying that?
That was now see, my brother, let's not be economical with the truth. The truth remains that if you are not satisfied with an outcome of anything, it goes beyond even just elections. If you are not satisfied with an outcome of anything, now in this context, elections, there are channels. And I'm happy that the Labour Party has taken the right channel and gone to court. Unfortunately, the party, in the bid of taking their case to court, are still putting out statements that is very detrimental to our democracy. That is the truth. That is the truth. We have these guys made statements that is capable of throwing the country into chaos.
Now
don't forget also that.
Now let me butt in. Just a moment.
In recent time.
Just a moment. Let me butt in, and I want to read what some Nigerians are saying. To juxtapose what you just said, that the matter is in court, but they are making some very, very hot statements that could really pump Nigerians that high. Let me just read a statement to you to juxtapose what you're saying. A Nigerian by name Chi Wise, this is on Twitter, she's saying that it is obvious it is Sorry, it is obviously a political move. Now she says this same FG, which is federal government, said anyone who is not satisfied with the outcome of the election should go to court. Of course, because the court gives you that provision. Now she continues by saying, so why accuse the plaintiffs of such a crime? I just feel the duo's unrelenting spirit was not expected by the FG, so let the court do its job. So what can you say to this?
Now, clearly, the courts, we have three arms of government, okay?
Yes.
And each arm of government operates independently. No matter what anybody thinks, the three arms of government, going by the Constitution of Nigeria, operates independently. Now, the outcome of an election, when there are dissatisfaction or disagreements, the next place to go to is the tribunal, which is the court, okay? And I'm happy that the parties that are dissatisfied from these elections have taken the right step by going to court. And most times, when cases are in court,